Hey there. All right, I'm back. I know it was a little bit longer than I anticipated. The sickness lasted a little bit longer than I had expected. For those of you that didn't see it, I made a community post talking about how I went to Disney World over the last weekend. Not this one that was like a couple days ago, but like a week ago. And it was a lot of fun, but I got sick, which is why there were no videos last week. I thought I would get over it pretty quickly because it didn't seem that bad. And to be fair, I kind of did get over it, but it's like, and I still kind of am, maybe you can tell, I don't know. I'm trying my best to suppress the sounds of my sickness. But yeah, I'm still pretty congested, and that was kind of the thing. It was like I was coughing a lot, even though I wasn't like, I don't know, does anyone else do this? Like when you're like getting over a sickness, it's like you're not really sick anymore, but you still cough for like a couple weeks afterwards, just because it's like, it's almost like a mental thing. I don't know. So I was doing that a lot, and so I don't want to be coughing, and I might actually cough during this video. I'm not sure, but we'll see. I'm going to try to not do that, but hopefully that doesn't require me to like die. But we're doing all right now. I'm just, like I said, I'm still a bit congested, so yeah, I'm still a little bit sick. It'll be, because that's the thing, it was like within like 2 days, probably maybe like 3 days after coming home, so 3 days past Monday, so like Wednesday, I was probably at like 95% good, you know, but it's that last 5% that's like really hard to get back to. But anyway, I'm at maybe like 98% now, 99. It might be a little while before I'm fully back to 100, but it is what it is. That's what happens when you go to Disney World and you're around a million people. I have a little bit of a cough that I need to cough, but I'm going to suppress it. Anyway, same video as always. We're just going to tap. We're going to talk. I don't know, who knows, maybe my voice is a little bit raspier than normal. Maybe some of you guys will like that. Get sick more often, Connor. I don't know. The worst thing about being sick is trying to go to sleep and then like your nose is clogged and so you can't breathe. Thankfully that hasn't been too bad this past time. There were a couple days, especially at like the start of it all, where it was kind of bad. And you're just like laying there and you're like, I'm gonna die in my sleep because I'm gonna like not be able to breathe. And I'm not like conscious enough to like know to breathe through my mouth. Does your body do that automatically? Like can your body detect that like your nose is clogged and so you can start breathing through your mouth? Like obviously I can do that, like if I'm conscious, like I can choose to do that. But if I am unconscious, will my body do that automatically? I don't know. That'd be pretty cool if it does. I think it probably does, honestly, but I don't know how it like figures that out. You know what I mean? Like, especially because like when you're sick and your nose is clogged, like your sinuses are all clogged, it's not 100% clogged, right? Like you can still breathe. It's not just like no airflow whatsoever. So like how does your body know like, all right, this is like not enough? Like what's the threshold, you know? Like how does it decide like, all right, let's start breathing through the mouth now? I don't know. I think I've talked about this before. It might have been in my last video, but I really like thinking about how the body functions and like all of those things. It makes me happy. I don't know why. I recently have been in a bit of a, especially because I've been sick, so I've had a lot of time where I'm just like laying there, you know, doing nothing. And I've been getting into Bloons Tower Defense. To those of you that don't know, Bloons Tower Defense is a game where, you know, there's like a track and you place monkeys on the map so balloons like come out of the track and your job is to pop all of the balloons before they get to the end. It sounds like really childish when I explain it, but it's a really good game. It's really addicting, honestly. It's such a simple game, but it's so addicting and it's so good. It's also like one of the few like still remaining tower defense games, at least as far as I know of. I feel like tower defense games were really big in like the early 2000s, like back when like flash games were pretty big, you know. But I feel like you don't see very many tower defense games anymore. But I don't know. But anyway, Bloons Tower Defense is a really good one, and it is still around. And it holds a special place in my heart because when I was in high school, especially freshman year, so like freshman year, you know, you're fresh out of middle school, so you're still like a little child basically, but you all of a sudden have like a little bit more responsibility, or like not responsibility, I mean, well, you do have more responsibility, but more like power, like more like you're entrusted with more authority, I guess. And the high school I went to, we all had laptops that we had to use during class to like take notes and stuff. And so here I was, this freshman kid with a laptop. Never been able to have a laptop in class. This was, I mean, there was a cough. There was a cough on the cusp, but we're good. Cell phones and smartphones existed at this point in time, but I didn't own one. And I mean, it was still kind of in the infancy stage of like smartphones and stuff. I think the newest phone at the time was the iPhone 4S. Maybe the iPhone 5. But yeah, it was a while ago. Either way, this was like my first opportunity to like have technology while at school. And I played a lot of Bloons Tower Defense. That was basically all me and my friends did. We would go to class. We would sit like in the back of the class, open up our laptops, and we would play Bloons Tower Defense. So it's pretty nostalgic to me to play it now. The reason I actually got into it and found out about it was because apparently Netflix has like games that you can download. I didn't know this was a thing, but I was on Netflix on my phone because I don't watch a lot of Netflix, if I'm being completely honest. I mostly watch YouTube, but I was like, let's see what's on Netflix, because I was just kind of bored and wanted something a bit longer to watch because, like I said, I've been sick, so... And then I saw it at the top, it was like, Bloons Tower Defense. I was like, no way, you're telling me I can play that? So I downloaded it, and I've been playing that for like the last week or so. A little bit less than a week. Like the last like 4 or 5 days. And it's really addicting, like I said. It's such a simple game. It's such a simple game. And yet, it's so satisfying to like watch all of the balloons get popped and to like make a tower that's like really powerful. They do a really good job. Whoever makes the game does a really good job of making it so that like each of the towers, no matter how like weak they are when they start off, like if you upgrade them, they all become like super broken in their own way. It's really fun. But yeah, I've just been playing that for the last few days now. Bit of a nostalgia trip. It's not the same exact version that I played when I was in high school, but it's very similar. There's very few differences. Probably the biggest difference is that it just doesn't become laggy on like level 100. That was the thing. I mean, we were playing these on like super shitty laptops back in high school. And when there's like 1,000,000 balloons on the screen and you've got like 100 towers all shooting balloons at the same time, it's like, it would get really laggy. But it doesn't get laggy anymore, and I'm playing on my phone. Just bumped the mic, sorry. I don't think it made that loud of a sound though, so hopefully it didn't. But yeah, I am feeling better, like I said. I'm at like 98, 99%, so I'm not quite 100 yet, but getting there. Pretty close at this point. It's like more or less like, yeah, I'm good. Like I said, it did take longer than I was anticipating, so sorry I didn't make a video sooner than that. Or, well, sooner than this, I guess, but it happens, you know. But yeah, Disney World was fun. I've been a few times before, but it's been a long time. I think it's been like 5 years since the last time I went. I think 2018 was the last time I had been. So 2 plus 3 is 5. Yeah. And they've, I mean, a bit of it, a good bit of it is the same, but there's also a lot of new things, new rides, and they've also changed out a lot of stuff. So like some of the rides that you liked were not there anymore, unfortunately. But it happens, you know, they gotta switch things out. Well, for the longest time, I thought Disney was like running out of land, right? I figured that's why they would always like switch out existing rides for new rides, because they just physically didn't have the space to just put new things. But turns out they've got like plenty of land. I don't know why they really do that. I guess it's just a cost-cutting measure, because like if they create a new ride somewhere. Hold on. I'm suppressing a cough. I'm suppressing the cough. All right. If they make a new ride somewhere, they have to connect it to like the rest of the park, and I guess that would cost more money than just ripping out an old ride and putting in a new one. I don't know. It's pretty crazy that Disney doesn't pay taxes because of some like deal they made back in like the 50s or something, where they're like their own sovereign country within the bounds of Florida. It's wild. I have heard that they're trying to repeal that, which is good, but I don't know if it's actually happened yet, or if they will actually succeed. Because obviously, as a giant corporation that doesn't actually pay taxes, they have quite a bit of power and money. So they can lobby shit all they want. There's a lot of people that are anti-Disney because it's like, they think it's trying to push like some LGBT agenda on people. Which I just don't understand, because like I don't see it, you know? I was just there, and there's like nothing gay about it. I don't know, it's just a weird thing to fixate on, but it certainly has its issues outside of that topic. People just choose to fixate on the weirdest of things. But it is fun. The food is ridiculously expensive, though. It's like $15 for like what amounts to basically like a dollar menu burger from McDonald's. I mean, it's like a one step up from that, but not by much. And I mean, it's not like the worst food ever or anything. Like, it's just not the quality you would expect for how expensive it is. Like if I'm paying $15 for a burger, I expect like a substantial burger, you know, like a burger. And they give you nothing. But that's their business model. You know, you're in there and you're trapped. Every single avenue is spending money at Disney. You know, there's nowhere to like not be paying Disney once you're in Disney World. It's genius, you know, but it's like the ultimate ending of capitalism. Or just like a demonstration of like what a monopoly would be like in real life. Like if you want to experience what it would be like to live in a world where like every company was owned by like the same company, you just go to Disney World and that's what it's like. There's no competition. They're only competing with themselves. So they can set the price for whatever they want. And so they can set the price of a cheeseburger to be $15. And it's like a single thin little patty and 2 buns. And it's like that for $15. Wow. And clothes are expensive as shit, dude. It's like $100 for like a t-shirt. It's wild. It's wild. Any of the little like knickknacks, like the smallest thing, like a little like shot glass or something, it's like $15. Some things are kind of reasonably priced, or like not so much that they're reasonably priced, but they're lower than you would expect for Disney. It's like, wow, they're not really fully bending me over a barrel for this one. But pretty much everything is insanely expensive. That's Disney. It is, like I said, it is a genius business model. But it hurts the wallet. I don't even buy like souvenirs and things though. I don't know. I'm a really boring individual. I think that much is pretty obvious. I live in a room with white walls and like no posters. I've never been into like posters or like decorations and things. I don't know. I'm just a loser, I guess. I just, like I've said this before, I know for a fact. This isn't like a really old video though. I have no idea when I said this, but I just don't get into things the same way other people do. Like people out there in the world, you watching this probably right now, you have something that you're like really passionate about. It could be anything, but you're really passionate about it. It could be a band, it could be a movie, it could be a franchise, it could be anything. In an instrument, maybe you play an instrument, maybe you're into music, like making music, maybe you're into sports, a sports team, whatever. You're into cars. There's so many things that you can fixate on and like surround your personality with. And then you decorate like your living space with those things. So like you like a singer, so you put up posters of them, or like you like art, so you put art on your walls, or you like cars, so you put up posters of cars, or you have like model cars or something. I don't know. There's like so many different things in life that you can, base your personality on and fixate on, And I have just never been like that with anything my entire life. Like even when I was a kid, I still enjoy things. I enjoy video games. I enjoy movies. I enjoy, YouTube and the idea of being creative. I really like art and stuff like that. I like making music. But I've never been so into something that I like just throw myself at it, where it just becomes everything I am, to where I would want to put up posters on my wall of it and stuff like that, I have never been like that with literally anything. I don't know if I'm just a weirdo or what, but yeah. So I'm not a big like souvenir buyer. I didn't buy any souvenirs from Disney. I just don't feel the need. It's like a little thing to remind me of the trip, I guess, is cool, but it's like I'm not just gonna forget because I didn't buy this thing, it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a weirdo. How long are we at? If that even makes sense. I think it's 20 something, so we'll keep going for a little bit longer. Let's try the homemade popsicle sticks. I'm just gonna do one so I can control it a little bit better. I could also do that, which could sound pretty cool. What about both at the same time? That might be a bad idea. But yeah, I've never fixated on really anything. I don't know why. Maybe I just haven't found that thing yet. Seems unlikely because I've been alive for a while and experienced quite a few things. But who knows? There's always something new to experience out there, right? I think it's really funny how, I mean, I'm projecting a little bit here, but I'm sure there are other people that feel similarly. But like, I'm big into sci-fi and the whole idea of like being an interstellar civilization. You know, like imagine having like a spaceship and being able to fly to like other planets and stuff, and that'd be really cool. And I like that idea of like exploration and everything because it seems so much vaster than Earth, which I mean it is because yeah, obviously. But I think for myself, especially, I get trapped into this idea of thinking that compared to space, Earth is really small, which again, yes, that is technically true, but compared to Earth, I am really small. Earth is massive. So like this whole idea that like, oh, I was born too early to explore, you know, like I guess technically, yes, there aren't too many places left on Earth that are just like completely untouched by humanity, right? And even if there are places like that, you know, finding them isn't as big of an accomplishment nowadays as it would have been to like sail across the Atlantic Ocean and, you know, found America, right? So it is a little bit different, but at the same time, like Earth is a massive, massive place, and there are tons of places to go. Like the idea that like it sucks that we aren't born in the future where we can explore space and stuff is like, I mean, you can explore Earth, and there's a lot of places on Earth. It's also really interesting to think about that because it's like Earth is so big that it is physically impossible to see all of it within a single lifetime, right? And so like if you extrapolate that to like a future world, future timeline where you know you can explore other planets and stuff like that, it's like it only gets more severe, right? Like imagine if humanity was spread across even just like 50 planets. I mean, like it would be impossible to see even like a single percent of everything that there was like colonized, you know? It's a little bit sad, honestly, but I think it does a good job of putting things into perspective. There's plenty to explore here on Earth. The problem with exploring on Earth is that it's kind of expensive. I mean, it's not like crazy expensive. It's doable at the very least, you know? It is an option. You don't have the option to explore other planets. But I mean, like, buying plane tickets and just going and traveling is expensive, especially when you consider, like, the opportunity cost of, like, well, when you're traveling, not only are you spending money, but you're not making money because you're not doing your job, right? Or, I mean, obviously, I guess there are jobs that you could do while traveling, but it's a tough situation, right? It's not an avenue that's available to most people, and that'll probably only continue to get worse as time goes on. I mean, I have never even been out of America before. And only recently, back in 2018, I went and traveled to the West Coast. I'm from the East Coast. So before that even, my view of the world existed pretty much just like one location. I mean, that was it. Well, okay, fine. Like, I'd been to like Florida and stuff, so a handful of locations, but like maybe 5 in total. And even now, my view of the world doesn't go beyond America. And my view of America even is quite small. I mean, you could spend your entire life traveling just America alone. It's a pretty big country, honestly, but the point still stands that there's just so much to see. A lot of people give America shit because we have a lot of problems. I'm not trying to make it seem like America is the greatest place that ever existed. I am happy that I'm an American, to be fair. But again, that comes from the perspective of an American that has never been outside of America, so I really don't know what it's like. But I don't know. You see a lot of videos of like people traveling to like European countries, and they're like, watch out for scammers, watch out for like pickpocketers and stuff like that. And I know those people exist in America, but it seems like it's way more severe of a problem in Europe, which is kind of a shame. Because that sucks. I don't like, if I ever had the money and the time to go to Europe, like that'd be cool. I'd want to go. I wouldn't want to have to worry about getting pickpocketed and scammed and shit like that, you know? Obviously, it's not the country's fault that they have scammers and shit, but it just sucks that people like that exist. And like I said, I know that happens in America too, but it didn't happen when we went out west. I think scamming in America is most common in like New York, and I've never been to New York, but I don't know. It's probably also another situation kind of like what I was talking about in the last video, where it's like, you know, you see videos online of like, be careful when you're in this place because there's a lot of scammers, and then you like see videos of people like setting up a scam, like so that they get scammed, like, you know, like you leave your phone purposefully on the table so that someone comes by and snatches it or something, you know, like it's like a bait car. And so that like gives you an unrealistic interpretation of like, oh, so there's just scammers all over the place. So it's probably not as bad as it's made out to seem, but it's still unfortunate that it exists at all. Speaking of bait car, I hate the bait car idea. There was a show in America. Most of my viewers are American, so I don't really need to preface that. But it was called Bait Car. And it was this idea where the showrunners, which were working in conjunction with the police force of whatever area they were in, I'm not 100% sure, they would put a car on the street and like surround it with cameras, but like hidden cameras, you know? And they would like leave the door open or leave the window rolled down or something, you know? And it was a bait car, as it sounds. They were trying to get people to steal it so they could arrest them, and the people would steal it, and then they would arrest them on the show. And like, it wasn't fake, like they would actually arrest them. And I've just always hated that. I don't know, it's just something about like, if you hadn't put the car there in the first place, they wouldn't have been able to steal it. So like, I don't know. I guess I get the idea that like they didn't know it was a bait car, so like it could have been anyone's car. So technically they're just a thief, but like I still don't like it. I think it's bullshit that you could do that and then get someone arrested. I mean, isn't that like a thing, like entrapment? Isn't that not allowed? Aren't you not allowed to do that? How is that not entrapment? I don't know. But that's always bothered me. I've always disliked that, where it's like you set up the variables, like you put them in a position where they can do the thing that you want them to do, and then they do that thing, and then you punish them for it. It's like, I don't know, it's just kind of fucked up. I'm not saying I would steal a car. You know, like I get the idea that it's like, well, if they were just a good person, then they wouldn't have stolen it in the first place. I don't care. I don't like it. It seems fucked up to me. Well, anyway, I think this video has been long enough. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm gonna go cough now. I only had like 2, maybe 3 moments where I like actually had to like suppress a cough, but so far, not bad. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.